like it's so interesting how have you ever noticed, like, if you drop something on the ground and it makes a hard crash, like your heart starts racing really fast
Mhm.
because your body's trying to pick up the pace with whatever noise it hears. So it's so important to have a sound vibration around us that's um, up leveling, I call it, or it's soothing to you because your heart rate's going to take that sound on no matter what's in the room. And I can cite so much, like there's a really good report from Stanford Research on mental health. And they did a report on city urban dwellers that aren't connecting to nature that have a 20% higher risk of anxiety disorders and 40% higher risk of mood disorders.
I believe it because I get anxious if I'm not connecting here in my
Hmm.
apartment building.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the big challenges with one of my clients. I mean, with all my clients that I'm trying to help with in my modality of what I'm doing is just reconnecting with nature is huge. We're working from home more, we're in our cars a lot more, and we're not getting out into community. We're getting out into social media communities, but we're not actually touching and hugging and, you know, being around people in a physical way. And it's so important to do that. It's just one of our innate ways of being in nature. So, I mean, not to say that I love like all the social media and I love all the technical ways of like Amazon and being able to get something right to my door. That's super great. And I'm certainly not going to be giving that up. But it's still like, how do we find a sense of really being in community and being in a sense of nature
And
in our home?
we were just talking to Marianne Buey all about that, about loneliness. It's now it's an epidemic that's
Hmm.
causing a health risk, which
Yes.
is it's more dangerous they're considering now than smoking,
Hmm.
inflammation, you know, the cravings, sensitivity to stress, all of that stuff. So these
Hmm.
are really, really great points.
So it's really good to be able to have people in my sessions. We work with all their senses. We work with using essential oils. We use using sound. We're using mental affirmations. We're using color psychology. We're using all these really fun things to map out what that specific person needs. And they're able to then change things up very easily. They don't need an interior designer once we're done. However, if you are working with an architect and interior designer, like on a new home or such, having this map of yourself and what you need and want ahead of time is just the bomb to have. I know a few of my architect friends have referred clients, and they were so happy they did because they were able to very clearly see what the client needed and wanted.
So are you not doing interior design at all anymore? Or is this really, you've transformed it into the work that you're doing now?
I've transformed it. Thank you for asking that, Patricia. It's I'm really into interior design wellness and
Wellness.
that preliminary stage before you go redesign a home.
So that actually, it's interesting because we get so caught up in my understanding of, what things look like, and the bling bling of the new tiles and the colors and the designs. But what I'm hearing from you is that before you go there, go within and find what resonates with that inner heart.
Yeah.
Is that really where you are? And you
Yes.
have some tips to reconnect people in that,
Yes.
right?
Yes. So just on that interconnection, just having a time and space for yourself. Like, we know how we take the time to, well, some of us do, to go out and maybe take walks or go to the gym. I think it's really an important part to take time for your mental gym, even if it's just 5 minutes before you get out of bed. you can easily like do some simple things, just breath work of breathing in and out. I like to always suggest if people want to balance themselves to be able to put their hands in a prayer position and put equal weight on each hand as they press down, because this helps balance the right and left hemisphere of the brain. And the second part of that is just having a space in your house, having a chair or maybe beside the bed for a yoga mat, and especially an altar space. And an altar space doesn't have to be fancy. It can be just your end table beside your bed, but having a space that have things that bring in really good energy for yourself, and remember to connect with yourself every day.
And how do you connect with your living environment in this way?
So connecting with your living environment is bringing in nature for me. And three things that I would suggest would be bringing in fresh plants into your house. It helps grow fresh air in your home.
Any particular plants?
There are a few, even just a simple white orchid takes out certain toxins in your air.
So I coach people on this too. I always say the peace lily and bromeliads are excellent for that.
They are. And I also bringing in photography and pictures of artwork. There was a study done in New York City of like 370 people that when they just put nature screenshots on their computers, it made them feel nicer and more generous and more connected.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then lastly, like to bring in the nature, I would say just remembering to connect with what is a sense of nature to yourself, like going to a botanical garden, going to a park, something like that. If it's winter time and it's too cold or too hot, always get near a window, be able to look outside, especially if you're working on your computer a lot every day.
You know, I was thinking, I have a housemate and he has this beautiful oak tree right outside of his window. And he keeps his he keeps his shades shut all the time. I'm like, you could open them up and just take that oak tree in, you know?
Yes. For sure.
Well, so you offer some wellness consultations. Can you say more about that, please?
Sure. So it's about a 2-hour consultation at looking at what kind of transition you're going through right now, because we all kind of are it faster than ever. And taking a look at where you're wanting to go. This really, and then we bring in with all your senses different pieces to see what it is your likes and your needs about that, to just set up a map and a direction to be able to go redecorate a little bit or maybe even redesign your home. And it takes about a 2-hour session to do that. And it leaves you with a really good guide to be able to look at what's going to support and align you in your home.
So give us some examples of the successes of some of your clients, if you can, Laura.
Let me think. I had a client that wanted to move into a new home, and she was going through a transitioning of downsizing from her kids growing up, like the empty nesting thing, and then also she had just lost her husband. And so she was kind of redefining herself, and it was so nice to be able to take a look at what she wanted to create going forward. So we brought in certain colors in psychology, help bring in socialness, and that would be like the orange tones, yellow tones. So we brought in those orangey kind of coral tones like into her living space and her kitchen area to really consciously think about having social friends over. And we did many things like that helped bring that in for her. And she ended up just really attracting just what she wanted, because we kind of consciously set up the colors and things in her house to support that.
So everything was in harmony with her desires. That's a beautiful example.
Yes.
Very, very cool. Well, I love that. So how do people get in touch with you, and how do they, where do you get your book, and what do you have to offer? Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So my book is on Amazon, and it again is called Interiorology. And you can also reach me at Laurel at Interior, which is INTERIOR hyphen ology, OLOGY.com. And reach out to me. I'd love to offer more suggestions. And if you have any questions, that's a great way to get in touch with me. I am giving away one of my books on the show here, and also one of my favorite oils, which is called Balance, which is a really nice grounding blend of different essential oils like frankincense and spruce wood.
Beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Laurel. Well, it's been great to have you on the show today, and we really look forward to your talk with us next week in the chamber meeting.
Yeah, I look forward to talking to you on Monday. Oh, next Monday, right? Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and make sure to join us next time.